Hello and welcome to a Everquest guide on trade skills. So this is gonna be like a high level trade skill video. I was gonna do like a video per trade skill and show what to craft, and then I started doing a little research on it, and I just thought that's a waste of time. So let's just start with this first, right? Trade skills. You click on these crafting things. They're found out all throughout the whole all the major cities and stuff like that. You can click on items if you have a favorite and stuff like that. You can search for recipes, and that's kind of how that works. And if you have the trade skill depot, you can make things from your bank, right? So like I can make this Luckland savory roast just from the materials in my bank, right? Pretty self-explanatory, but you have to learn the recipes first. So I have to do do an experimental combine on all that with whatever items I have in my bag to make it. So that's the basics of all these trade skills. They're all the same, right? And I'm gonna go into like how to get the recipes and stuff here in just a second. But like, what is this? This is a tinkering table. So we can come over here and make, if I want to make a rebreather, right? I'd go find plate mail helmet, aqua lung, and all this other stuff, right? And I'd go get all those items, go experiment, combine them, and then once I learn the recipe, I could make the was it aqua? Yeah, I think it was the rebreather actually. I can make the rebreather, right? And then I can put it in my little known recipe list. You can search for things like let's type in belt, right? So like the vital conflagrant belt, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Once I make one, I get the recipe. I can add it to my favorites, and then I can have my recipe, my favorite recipes here, so I can always get to them. So like these gearboxes and stuff like that. Pretty self-explanatory. I find I find that to be the easiest part of this whole trade skill thing. So instead of me showing, make, mandrake root or something all the way until 66 tailoring, right? That's boring. You can definitely find better sources for that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is actually show those sources. And here we go is the first most important website, I think, for trade skills and Everquest, and that is the eqtraders.com. I reference this site here a lot when it comes to anything trade skill related. I believe the person who runs this is the wife of a developer of the game, so it's a pretty vital resource to the community, and it's got a lot of information, like you can like pottery recipes from Terra of Luckland. You can find all the recipes here. And that plays into how you actually level trade skills, right? So from 1 to 300, you learn trade skills by crafting items in repetition, right? So let's go back to one of these trade skills things right here, right? So you can see these trivial values right here, right? So if I make firewater, I can make firewater from skill 1 to 17, and I can make collapsible fishing poles until 31, right? Once it's 31, I won't gain skill anymore on it, all the way up to 300. So I think I used black powder bomb to get to 300. I believe so. It's like so much of this black powder stuff. And you can do that. Once you hit 300, you have to level your trade skills differently. One, you have to put AA points into it. I'm trying to find one here now. New Tannin Craft and Mastery. This will increase your specialization cap, so you can get more than one over 200. So by default, I believe you're only limited to one skill that can get to 300. And by maxing this out, you can go above that cap. And then there are Tailoring Mastery, which lets you go above the cap even more. And each trade skill has its own mastery. And you can see here that I'm 11 to 13 blacksmithing mastery. So my cap is at 40 above that. So my cap is like, I don't even know what 3. It's there because I'm over it. Well, whatever. 60 AA per, like, and it increases every rank, right? So I don't even know what my blacksmithing is right now. So if we go like skills, you can see like I'm 364 of 340. That, but I do have the trophy. I'll cover those here in a minute. But you can get these trophies for completing a certain amount of combines, and I'll go into that too. But yeah, it's kind of disoriented here, but kind of the gist of it is 1 to 300 you craft. You have to have AAs to get over 200, and then from 300 to 350 you have to learn new recipes. And I'll show a website that helps for that here in just a second, but that's how that works. So EQ Traders is good to find new recipes and how to make things like the Faded Bloodied Luckinite Charm of Brilliance, right? That's a mouthful. You know, here's how you make it, and it has all these little clicky clicks to show all the sub combines, right? And the asterisk means you can buy it from a vendor and stuff like that, and you just make it. You get all the materials, put in your bag, do the experiment for the first combine, and then so on and so on. And there's lots of websites to show the different trivial levels for everything and what's the best to make. I highly recommend, and this is what I use. This is kind of why I was like, there's no point in me making a video showing, you know, do this from this trivial to that trivial when, you know, who is this? Corwine here has done it all. He's done all the work. I'll link all these in the description. This is called the Ultimate EQ Trade Skill Guide, and it is very thorough. Very thorough. You see, it hasn't been updated in a while, but it is a very thorough guide, and it works. And you can kind of see here, it kind of explains all that stuff I just I said about the skills and all that and whatnot. But if you go down right here, so there's trophies, and they take a certain amount of experience from crafting items to level up. Here I have a few of them in my bag. Right here's the master machinist or mechanist not machinist, mechanist trophy. Right, I'm almost grandmaster in this. I'm what, 92%, so I just need a few more combines to get that to the next level. When you max out a trophy, you get a master artisan satchel, which I don't have my grandmaster ones on me right now, but you also get, you know, a percent bonus to your skill for that thing, and you can put them in your house, and you can get the trophies like this. So like the tailoring one gives me 15%. The same with the baking and the brewing and the blacksmithing one, right? I get 15% at all times from those. So kind of really cool. And you can get a trade skill only bag. You're gonna have to Google that quest. I think it's actually in here, but he shows you can get the to 24 slot weight reduction bag for trade skill items. So that can be useful. And there are I think 7 trophies, 1 for each trade skill, plus alchemy and tinkering. I don't think there's one for poison making, but nope, there is. Maybe it says right there. So I don't know. I never got that far in poison making on my rogue, but very important. This is probably the most important line of this whole thing right here. Once you get to 50 skill, you're gonna want to go to West Freeport. Inside the newbie yard, there is a trade skill lady there. You're gonna go talk to her, and you're gonna get the quests for your trophies. For you want to get the level 1 trophy. You don't want to get Don't want to get 300 skill and then go get your trophy. The difficulty of the trade skill quest is significant, like from 1 to 2. So if you got to 101 skill and you go try to get your trophy for level 2, right? It's a pain. There's rare items you have to go get all over the older expansions and stuff like that, whereas the level 1s are fairly trivial to get within your stuff. So I highly recommend as soon as you hit level 50 in whatever trade skill, you go get the trophy quest. Getting the quest, you don't have to worry about going over the skill at that point, but I would just go ahead and complete it then, because you get experience for the trophy for every combine you do, up to 300. So, or items up to 300 trivial, and over, right? They can be over 300 trivial and you still get this stuff. So just kind of want to make sure that's clear there. Here in this guy goes here and covers all the AA stuff, right? There's the new Tannin Mastery, which get all your trade skills up to 300, like I said, and then Trade Skill Mastery lets you reduce the failure rates significantly, and then Salvage will kind of give you back some of the items. So like when you fail, you usually lose everything. With Salvage, you lose less than everything, so it's kind of nice. This total 174 AAs isn't true. They've added more ranks, I think, since this guy, 3 ranks each. So since this was made, it's been updated. There is a shop item that lets you not fail items, which is interesting, but I've never used it, so I don't know. But what's really important is he has in this list, or she, I don't know, a list of trivials that you can kind of use, right? And you can kind of see it right here, right? Combine something with a ruined pelt, mangled pelt, and whatnot. And here's all the trivials and stuff like that. Or silk, in the case of tailoring, it can be one of those. You make those items. I'll show another site with a little bit more, less, you have to think about it. More or less, it'll just tell you what to make. And it kind of goes through all these different ones. And it just, shows all the ore levels and the different trivials that you can make things at. And then here's the things you need for the trophy. So the level 50 trophy. And these should be accurate if I'm not mistaken. And then same here, like here's a 4 recipe progression path for brewing, right? From 0 to 102, make vegetable oil, make Fade War Shaker, and Hero Brew, right? And then Kaldheim Constitutional. I didn't do that. I found there's easier recipes to do for that. This was a little bit overkill. I actually used let me show. See if I can remember the name of it. So the trade skill items in the current expansions are very easy to get. So like this mineral water one, I think this is it. Yeah. Restless Ice Slush from TOV and COV, fairly common, and aerated mineral water bought from a vendor. I did that for a lot of my brewing, all the way to 300. And then I made even more. I think I had like 20,000 of this slush. I made even more to max out my trophy. So some stuff like that just makes it a little easier. And so let's see here. So let's go back. So like this resource has tons and tons of recipe trivials. Like if you want to get to, all these things, they're all here, right? And then alternatively, you can go to eqprogression.com. This guy has a YouTube channel and stuff. Support him, but he's put a lot of work into this. And so here's tailoring, for example. 1 to 66 make mandrake root. 67 to 76 picnic baskets. So, like this all the way. And like, if I made a video on this, I would literally just be repeating this, because these are he's pretty much narrowed it down to this stuff. And there's, some variation to this you can make, right? You can be like, oh man, that's a terrible recipe. I don't want to make that one. I can go over here to, the ultimate recipe thing over here and just look and see what he says and this guy says, right? And kind of pick and choose a lot of this, I used a lot of overseer resources to kind of cheese it, and then I put up buyer. I think it's buyer in the. I think that's what it's called, barter, or buyer, something like that in the bazaar, where you can say, I'm going to buy all the coarse silk, and people can sell it to you, or the immaculate silk, and people sell it to you, right? And you can get a lot of materials that way too. So it's one way to do it. But this guy has every single trade skill here. If it's gonna load, there we go. Like all the things to make, and a lot of them overlap, like between here, and I think there's another one, Almar's guides. I found they were the exact same as EQ progression though, so I didn't really I didn't much show on that one. But yeah, every single trade skills here, and all the different combines and stuff like that. You know, from 1 to 74, make malachite. Just go through it. It's pretty accurate. And you're now like, why would you want to do trade skills? It's a lot of work, it costs a lot of money, and it's a lot of pain, right? I don't know how much money I've spent on Trade Skill Depot slots. I'm at 1010 trade skill slots. That's how many trade skill items I have in my Trade Skill Depot that they added in the Night of Shadows expansion, right? I have massive amount of crap in there, and I have like 6 characters that are absolutely full of these 32 slot bags of trade skill items, just full of items. I have tons of them across all my accounts, and it's a lot of items to make a lot of different things, right? I'm still not even maxed out crafting and all my trade skills yet. I haven't maxed it all out yet, and I'm still working on it, but it's a lot of work. But why would you want to do it, right? This is the item right here. So bonds.com, the artisan prize. So this is an augmentation that goes in an earring, slot 7, right? So let's take a look at this thing here, right here. Recommended level 105, 300 AC, 3000 HP, 3000 mana, 3000 endurance, 75 all stat, 150 all heroic stats, 40 all resist, 200 attack, 15 HP regen, 15 mana regen, everything else. And then it has a warn effect of reduces your chance of failing trade skill combines by 5% and increases your reputation with Hollis, right? So because the quest to get this involves Hollis, right? So, and gains power as your trade skills go beyond their initial spell cap. So as you get closer to 350 in all your trade skills, this maxes out. I believe it evolves or something like that. I can't remember exactly the stats and how it goes, but that is why this is like the best earring aug in the entire game since forever. And that's the goal. That's the goal of all the trade skill stuff, right? You go look on any Megalo profile on that site, and all the high-end people have it, and they have it in a lot of them still use this earring right here. I haven't finished mine yet, but the Ralph Zeke earring from TOV, which it has all these different slots, right? So it has the most AUG slots, and mine's not fully AUG, but fully done, and I don't even think that is the final version right there. No, I don't think so. That's just the final version of this version here. It keeps going. I think it goes to 10,000 hit points or something like that. So it's a really nice earring, and it stacks with that earring, so you get a lot of stuff, right? So that is the whole reason to do trade skills, and that's that. So here's another useful site. I'll link these ones. So Bonds is artisan price one, and all of this one here. Adidas EQ trade skills. So this is on townshiprebbellion.com. This is one of the larger raid guilds in the game. But she here, I'm assuming it's a her because the characters are her, but whatever. It's a very good guide, and it shows you kind of like the process of getting past 300, right? So this is where you it's pretty much a step-by-step guide right here. You can follow this. I've gone through this once with Nomregard. I'm about to do it again on Tawani. I might record it as I go through it, but I don't know. It's daunting. So you go through all these different vendors, right? And you can buy books from these vendors that you can click a little button on them when you open them up, and it says scribe, and it teaches you recipes. So you don't have to make an item to learn the recipe. You just click it, right? And you can get it all in there and get that going. And you need to get a lot of recipes for all this. So there's lots of books, right? And they're all in different places, and you just go one by one and buy the book and learn the recipes. You just go through that and get them all. You're not going to get to 350, but it will get you close. So how you get to 350? This site here, eqrecipes.free.fr, is probably one of the better places for that. So here's the default thing. Let me upload my one of my characters real quick. Let's see here, games. Takes me a second to find the file. Let's see here, Nomregard, Coronavi, tailoring. There we go. Come on. There we go. There we go. There's the recipes. I click upload, and this is what I'm missing. So for me to get to 350 tailoring on Nomregard, based on whatever it was at that point in time, I have to make 269 of these following recipes. So I don't even know how many's here. I'd probably copy it out and put it in a spreadsheet or something so I can like look through them and see and look them up. And each of these is all linked to EQ Traders, right? So I haven't mated the Fated Bloodied Lucanite Armistice of a figure, so I need to make that, right? Easy. I could probably go make that right now without even trying, because I probably have all these items. And I just spent 2 days combining a bunch of fish scales together to have enough of these things here to have a sheet to make stuff. But yeah, so it's pretty easy with this. You can kind of find like items like acrylic reinforced belt, right? Easy enough. You can start at the top and work your way down if you have these items, right? You could set up a barter guy to buy them and whatnot, and make it. So they get a little tedious. Some of them, I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. Some of these get really tedious to make, but at the same time, they're not terrible, right? Like a black bear hat ornament. What does this take? So these are all like, what is this? 4 of the 5 items are sold by a vendor, right? So that's trivial, right? Black bear skull. So you just go kill some bears and get the materials for that. And then even here on EQ Traders, if you go into those items, right? Tuft of black bear fur. This item is dropped from mobs in the common lands. And you can go kill black bears and Kodiaks. Or you can go forage it in those zones, right? And then you go over here to black bear skull. This item is foraged in the common lands, Misty Thicket, and Jagged Pine Forest, and Alcabar's Nightmare. So you can go forage in those zones and get it. So then you get all the combines, wham bam, and you get yourself a black bear hat ornament, which this is actually a pretty cool item. It makes your helmet look like a bear head on your head. It's kind of cool. And you can get that. I think it's a black bear one. You've probably seen some shamans running around with it. But let's see here. But on the Township Rebellion side, there's some more stuff here too. There's checklists and like here's alchemy, right? Kind of goes through. It kind of does the same thing. You can. I think this is a Excel spreadsheet you can download. It does the exact same thing as this EQ recipes site. And it'll kind of show you the exact same stuff, whatnot. Then there's the quests you can do here. Let's see here. The Ralosek earring right here shows the different stages and the quest. Like, I think I did part of it with Gnome Regard a few years ago, but I never finished it because I never did. Yeah, so here's the, like, I think the final earring. So it's a pretty nice earring. It's a little dated now that like you can get like almost 15,000 HP on an earring, but it's almost 10,000, but it's a pretty good. But you can see all these slots, right? So the slots kind of make up for that. You can put in different items in there, all related to this quest. Let me see if it shows those. Yeah, right. I think these are them, though. Maybe. Type 7. No, those are Type 7 Augs. You have to make a lot of stuff for this quest. I'll just say that. Yeah. And let's see here. Yeah, there's prereqs to the Artisan's prize, right? You have to do the Earring of Solstice, Eron's Jewelry, and some other smithing stuff. Aid Gemrel. Yeah, that is one of the... You have to finish the progression of Planes of Power to actually make it. But with Agents of Change now, it's pretty easy to do. I'll be making videos on all that stuff, whatnot. And I think right here, I think something I wanted to cover, but yeah, right here, perfect. On the Bonds' site, bonds.com, to get the 50 trade skills, there is a quest you can do with a guy in Abysmal Sea for each trade skill. And you need to do these anyway to get the quest to be able to convert the raw dark matter and stuff like that. Yeah, so definitely worth doing that. It's pretty easy to do. You just go to Abysmal Sea, find the guy. He'll be like, make me some items, and you go make the items. It'll get you to 50. I think 50 or 51 of each trade skill if you do all the quests. Pretty easy. And it's definitely worth your time to start there in your trade skill journey, and then go through and start going through these different leveling paths and stuff like that. And I believe the EQ progression one is built around nothing past Planes of Power, I believe. Let me see if I can find another website real quick. Let's see here. Yeah. Almar's Guides is another really, really good resource. almarguides.com. He has trade skill recipes kind of broken up by actual expansion, which is kind of nice, right? Because if you're in classic EverQuest, you want to get baking up, right? So it's a little bit different. If we go, like, let's do tailoring, because I know that one kind of by heart, right? So the woven mandrake root, yeah, it's the same. Picnic basket, same. And then he gives alternatives, right? You can make high handmade backpacks, right? From the high quality bear skins, another alternative and stuff like that. So these are really good sites. Like, and he shows like all the graphics into it. That's really nice. And all the different trivials, all the way to 250, I believe. You might not be able to get past certain ranks in classic EverQuest, because 200 was like the highest people were getting to back then. You might be able to get some of them a little higher, but you need the AAs from Planes of Power to be able to like actually max all this stuff out. So that's something to keep in mind. But this Bond site here has so much good stuff on how to do it, and I think he goes through like the whole entire process here to get everything maxed out, and it's just so much information here that I mean, it'd be borderline plagiarism if I did anything related to any of these websites, because it's just so much good information, and it should be promoted, and it's my opinion. But it goes through all the different ones. He's got the sub combines and whatnot, and getting all the skills to 350. and tinkering supplies, all kinds of crazy stuff. So definitely, these are all good resources. I'll have them all linked in the description. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through that because I've gotten a few asks here and there, like, you know, do a video on Tradeskills, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, I could do it, right? I think I kind of did with a jewelry one, and it was kind of, you know, the same kind of process here, right? Maybe a little bit different, but when I was doing Yellowknack, but it's just like, it's so, the numbers aren't going to change and stuff like that through all the expansions. It might just take less combines and stuff like that the higher you get, because you can get different trade skill perks and stuff like that from the thing. But it's all written down already. Everything's here. All the data is available. The EQ progression and all Mars guides are like the most direct. They'll tell you exactly what to make and when to make it through all the different expansions. So if we go, I think Everquest, he's got them all the way up to Ring of Scale. So we can go here to Ring of Scale, 1 to 300 brewing using Dream Dust, right? Dream Dust is a thing from one of the expansions. Here, I'll show another way to get a lot of trade skill items. Hopefully I have one in my Overseer. So if you go to Overseer/Overseer, you can do quests. Yeah, I do have at least one trade skill one. Perfect. Let me claim all these real quick just to see what we got. Come on, click. Lagging. All right, here we go. So this is a harvesting, I think, quest from Overseer. So let me open up that again. I'm doing another video on the Overseer, so that'll be a thing, but kind of spoilers to that, right? So like Fuel the Forge here is a level 1 common harvesting little mission here that you can send your guys on, and you'll get a reward kind of like this, right? You can pick the currency, which I wouldn't pick. You can pick trade skill items from Seeds of Destruction, Veil of Valaris, Darkened Sea, you know, all the way through Terra of Lucklin here, and you can, you know, get these items. Like, these are literally the rewards you get for doing this quest, right? Like, here's a Ring of Scale. I get some conflagrant ore and some silk and whatnot, right? Underfoot, same thing, silk, lands, you know, all the same stuff. So if I want to make recipes targeting these specific, you know, expansions, right? I don't have to actually go and farm, farm them out there, right? I can do the Overseer and I can get some, you know, items, right? So like if I do the Terra of Lucklin, I'm gonna get 11 ore, which isn't a whole lot, but it, you know, it helps, right? 275 fish scales, that's a lot. You know, that's like 20, I think you get 100 per fish, so 2 fish, I think. I can't remember. Either get 2 or 10 per fish. So, you know, it's, you know, every bit helps. So, but this is another way to get resources to kind of make these things go a little bit faster, right? And it just depends on what you're looking for the quest to make sure you get what you want and all that. Let me just get all this out of my way. And I go with collection items. But yeah, so that's just kind of like some trade skill resources. Hopefully this was useful to somebody that's wanting to start the journey of trade skills. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I've had days where I've been combining trade skill stuff and I've been annoyed, like like seriously annoyed. My bank, you can see my bank, right? Like all my bags are these trade skill bags, because that was before the trade skill depot, right? I had all of this entire bank 100% full of trade skill items. I had my dragon hoard like absolutely full of more trade skill items. I had 250 trade skill items in here now. I have all my prize collection junk in here, and I have characters that are absolutely full of stuff, and it's just the only reason it's still on other characters is because it's tedious to go and parcel things between all my accounts and stuff one by one. So it's a lot easier now. You have Trade Skill Depot, you can just walk up to a thing and be like, I want to make a black powder bomb. I don't have any of these items on me, so they're all red, right? Personal Depot, I can make one, you know, right there and there. And if I need more, I can go buy, what is this, sheet metal? I can go buy like thousands of that and throw it in my bank, and I can use it without having to worry about it. You just have to learn that first recipe by, you know, doing the combine with the experiment here and the, you know, the simplified old school UI. But other than that, it's pretty easy. Let's see here. Why can't I click it now? There we go. All right. Definitely lagging on the server right now. That's why I haven't made any other videos. But there's, you know, lots of different Tradeskills containers you can use and stuff like that. But I think I've gone a little long. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover in this video. If there's any other questions or comments about Tradeskills, I will try my best to answer them. The resources I will have in the description will be like the best resources for that. But if there's like specific, you know, what's a good spot to farm a certain item, you know, let me know what the item is. Maybe I know a good spot. I've gone through a lot of things. A lot of the higher end, you know, getting the 300 stuff, you can use the you can use recipes from whatever expansion you have the most materials from, and you can kind of just do those over and over again to get that last bit, and you'll also get your trophy up too. So it's kind of useful there. But thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.